Commissioner Linden, you're on mute. We do not yet have a vote from Commissioner Linden, but he has joined us.
Sorry, apologies. I think my microphone wasn't working, or my earbuds. Can you remind me what the current vote is?
The current vote is the approval of the agenda and a general roll call.
Gotcha. I think that would be a yes.
Thank you very much. That is all 8 in attendance. Thank you.
Thank you. Second item on the agenda is the approval of commission meetings open session from September 24th, 2025. Is there a motion?
I move that we
Second.
approve
Welcome
the
to the
minutes.
conferencing
It's been
center.
properly moved and second. Is there a roll call?
Chairman Barnes.
I vote aye.
Commissioner Bartlett.
Please wait while
Aye.
others join.
Commissioner Geraldo.
Vote aye.
Vice Chair Harris.
Aye.
Commissioner Hedrick. Mr.
Sorry,
Hedrick.
I've lost. My apologies. I lost my mute button there. Aye.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Linden.
Aye.
Commissioner Federling.
Aye.
Commissioner Washington.
I vote aye.
Thank you. 8-0.
Thank you. The next general announcement is general announcements. Community Planning Month is before us, and upcoming Veterans Day holiday is coming up, so we want to stay tuned for those. Next on the agenda is committee and board reports. Employee Retirement System Board or Trustees regular meeting minutes from September 25th is information only, which should be in your all's package. Next is the action and presentation items. Inspector General report, Ms. Kinney.
Good morning. Thank you. Inspector General Penny for the record, and I have with me Deputy Inspector General Madubale Gundalay. So this is, we do this once a year. It's our opportunity to share with Commission leadership that OIG's activities for fiscal year 25. Our annual report is in your packet. We'll be able to answer any questions that you may have, so please feel free to ask. However, I would like to caution if there are specific questions on any of the audits and investigations, we may have to have a motion for closed session because we cannot be discussing confidential audits and investigations in open session. So I'm going to jump right into the report. Everyone has it in their package. We put a summary in the beginning of our report, kind of summarizes everything we did for the fiscal year. As you can see, we're quite busy. We did 15 performance audits, 8 fraud, waste, and abuse investigations, 9 limited investigations, 1 management advisory, and 2 inspections and reviews. In addition to that, we were out meeting with our peers, and we taught 5 fraud courses. We made 70 audit recommendations to management. We also went back and followed up on 57 of these recommendations. And we're going to touch on all of these areas in the report. So if you, I'll skip, I'm assuming everyone read the report, so I'm going to skip our mission and our services provided. Happy to answer questions. There's a snapshot in there of our team. We have a wonderful team. 3 of our team members are with us today. Help answer questions if any comes up. We strive, we really support credentialing. We have a slew of professional credentials amongst the team. They're also listed in the report. What is the circle page 18 talks about our governance. I want to take a moment here, and I know Commissioner Bailey has retired, but she served as audit committee chair for the full fiscal year of 25 and prior. So I want to thank her for the record for her leadership and support of the Office of the Inspector General. I was very appreciative. We also on the audit committee have 2 public members, one representing Prince George's County, which is Mr. Ben Williams, and one representing Montgomery County, is Ms. Sharon White. I want to extend my thanks to our public members. They are involved, they read all of our reports, they come to the meetings, and it's all on a voluntary basis. So kudos to them. And also special thanks to Commissioner Mitra Piedum. She's also on the committee, and as of Commissioner Bailey's retirement, Mitra kind of found herself chairing the audit committee. So thank you, Mitra. The next page is our annual work plan. Each spring, after we do a risk assessment, we put together a work plan and we present it to the audit committee and they approve it. Before we do that, we usually go out and we survey and we talk with people and we try to understand the risks of the commission before we put our risk assessment together. And then we meet as a group and we analyze and we really spend a great deal of time trying to make sure we are addressing the risks. Because we have a small staff, the commission is very large. So of course we want to focus on the risks. So in June of 24, the audit committee did approve our fiscal 25 work plan. I'm going to skip the audit process unless someone has questions. I'm going to jump right to the performance audits. We do two types of performance audits. The first are referred to as business process audits. This is where we look at a process that's deemed high risk and we review and evaluate the process to ensure they're operating effectively, efficiently, and in compliance with relevant laws and regulations. In fiscal 25, we completed 5 business process audits. We looked at traffic citations, the Kronos UKG upgrade, a small portion of the capital improvement program, badging procedures, and community partnerships. Another type of performance audit we complete, we refer to them as facility audits. And that's where we go out to these commission facilities and we look at everything relevant in their business operations, whether it be petty cash, purchase cards, vehicle logs. We look at everything. And we went out and we hit a lot. We hit a lot last year. The list is right there of all the facilities that we were able to visit and audit last fiscal year. We did 10. Next page talks about our investigations. Again, we do 2 types of investigations. We get calls through our hotline. We get calls from management. We get calls from employees. So everything starts off as a limited investigation where we gather some facts, might do an interview, we might get a look at some documentation. Then we use our professional judgment to say, you know what, there's enough here to open a full fraud, waste, and abuse investigation. If not, we might just do a limited investigation. We'll look at it and we usually issue a report, memo form. It's not as detailed as a fraud, waste, and abuse investigation, and it does not follow the same standards as a fraud, waste, and abuse investigation. So that table there shows that the number and the specific fraud, waste, and abuse investigations we completed. We did 8 this year, double from last year. So and really took a strain on our operating budget, but we got through it. And then our limited investigations, we did 9, and those are on the following page, and it lists all the limited investigations that we took. Again, I can answer general questions. Unless you want to dig deeper into any of these, we'll have to be in closed session. We also do what we refer to as management advisories. We consider these consulting services. And they're usually a request by senior leadership to ask us to look at something, to help them out with something. We only did 1 last year. We looked at the calculation for van pool usage within Montgomery County. And we were asked to recalculate the contribution amount. And we did that, and we were able to come up with an alternative, we believe more accurate method for calculating the van pool usage. Inspections and evaluations. This is something we just added in fiscal 25 to our library of services. They're similar to an audit, but they're less in scope. We're able to go out and take a quick look at something. We did two. One, the ERP RFP pre-implementation. We looked at the official RFP that was issued to make sure that it was comprehensive and it covered everything that we usually follow NIST, that NIST requires in an RFP issuance. And we found that the development process adhered to established industry standards, and it was conducted thoroughly and methodically to ensure the selection of the best possible solution. The team did a really good job with that when they sent out that RFP. We were also very small, one day, this is why we call it inspection. Management wanted us to quick come out and verify some petty cash, and we were able to do that. Follow-ups. All of our performance audits, some of our internal control reports, some of our limited investigative reports have audit recommendations. And with our audit recommendations, management must provide us with a response of how they're going to mitigate the findings, how they're going to reduce the risk. We will go out and we will follow up on all high and medium risk audit findings. We do not follow up on the low risk findings. And so we spend quite a bit of time doing follow-ups. In fiscal 25, we did 24 follow-up reviews, and 47 of the 57 audit recommendations that we looked at were satisfactorily resolved, which is another good job for management and commission employees. The other 10 we'll get to, we'll do a second follow-up. We give them more time to complete, and then we'll go out and we'll do a second follow-up. The next page of our report talks about a major audit concern. When we write our recommendations, we use our judgment, and they're either a high, medium, or low risk. Sometimes there are major concerns that we feel it's very important for management to be aware of. I know sometimes people get busy and they can't read our audit reports right away. They might need to read them a week or two later, but hopefully everybody will turn to when they receive an audit report, the major audit concerns section, because that is something that needs immediate attention. 3 of our performance audits completed in fiscal 25 included major audit concerns, and the details are in Appendix A. Now, although the concerns were a little bit different in each of the 3, there was an overarching theme we found of lack of policies and procedures coupled with insufficient oversight and monitoring. As I mentioned previously, we presented management with 70 audit recommendations to improve the effectiveness, productivity, and efficiency of commission programs, policies, and practices. We analyzed those 70 audit recommendations and tried to group them somehow into categories to give you, management, a better idea of what we're seeing out in the field. 12 of the 70 recommendations had to do with improving controls over cash, and that included petty cash, bank deposits, and accounts receivable. Again, nothing high risk, but still it's pervasive, and there's an inherent risk with cash. We're very supportive of Department of Finance's efforts with their direct payment program. I think that's going to help significantly once that's implemented throughout the commission, as they're trying to do away with all petty cash accounts. There were 12 recommendations to develop or strengthen internal policies and procedures. There were 11 recommendations that focused on improving managerial oversight and employee compliance with applicable laws, policies, and ethical standards. And there were 9 recommendations to strengthen controls over commission assets. We put a table in there to try to depict where the findings are. As you can see, some of the largest was the 17% was the petty cash, and also to develop the internal policies that's on the table. And then there's the appendices. I wasn't going to cover these in this session. Unless someone has some questions, happy to. But they do provide a more detailed overview of each audit. For the business process audits, we talk about the objective of the audit, if there was a major audit concern, what it was, and then our recommendations. And I think that is it. Unless, I mean, I don't know how deep people want me to go into the
No.
exhibits. Are we
Well, Ms.
good?
Kitty, I have one question.
Yes, sir.
And if you can go back to the persuasive audit findings.
Pervasive audit, yes.
As I look at this slide, and I can appreciate the detailedness of it, and I was not here for FY 23 or 24. So I would like to know, or maybe you can get that information over to me, is how much of this is a duplication? Meaning, the findings that you have found in FY 25, are there some of the same things that happened in prior years that we just did not get it right, or we did not implement the recommendations that you guys provided? Because as I look at these numbers, where we have 17% in petty cash, which is a high number for me, 16% in track monitoring and enforced policy, and 17% or strengthened internal policies and procedures. What were those numbers prior years, or if there were any prior years? Which means that we have to do a better job of enforcing some of those things and instilling better training in our management to make sure that we're not duplicating these things over and over again. So that page kind of caught my eye, that I would like some more information.
I will get you the numbers for the past two, fiscal year 23 and 24. Off the top of my head, I know there are some duplicates. I know there are some themes. Over the past few years, most of these are when we're going out to the facilities.
Sure.
And a lot of the facilities are understaffed. They might be staffed primarily with seasonal or intermittent employees. So we find in a lot of our audits when we're going out, issues with the controlled assets. Not that they're being misappropriated. We're not really concerned with theft of the assets, but the process. Our employees seem to be a little unclear of the correct way to do an inventory of controlled assets. They all hand us a list. Here's our assets, but there's more to it. It has to be compared to the prior year to make sure that everything that's not there is fully documented. So we see that, and I can get you the exact number. And also we see one of our top findings has to do with petty cash, but those will be going away. And again, it's not the misappropriation of the petty cash, it's more of they're not following our procedure, the commission's procedures. They're not being submitted timely for reimbursement. Is the big one we see continuously. Again, they're not high risk, but they're pervasive. And I'll get you and Vice Chair Harris those statistics that would be helpful.
That would be very helpful for me. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for, I always told you I sleep better at night knowing that you're on the case there, you and your team doing your investigations. And what I also say, what I really appreciate is I've been on the commission for a couple of years, is that your follow-ups, right? Not only do you find, if you go out and you find something, but you follow up within a reasonable time and you send a report. So that also sends a signal that, it's not just going to just say what you see, but you follow up to make sure the staff, make sure it makes those corrections. And Chair Barnes, the finance side, Gavin Cohen, the Director of Finance, is that petty cash piece is really, they're on it now, they're implementing. It was a trial procedure, and now it's a full scale of how we deal with petty cash to eliminate everyone having. So that I see that moving forward. So I appreciate that. And one of the questions I had is, you talked about the wastewater and abuse cases have doubled. Mm-hmm. Do you see a trend in that, or can you explain why do you think they've doubled?
I am going to turn the mic over to Dupe. She leads our team, provides the guidance, so she knows more about the investigations.
Thank you. For the record, my name is Mary Kay Ogundile, Deputy Inspector General. Mr. Harris, we don't have any formal statistics or tracking as far as like the increase or why there's an increase in investigations, but we know they have been increased. But I would attest that to our outreach throughout the commission, throughout different departments, and also our fraud, waste, and abuse training. Some people have never heard of our office and what we do, and so when we go out there and we address questions, we tell them what we do, what the fraud, waste, and abuse, the hotline and all those things and the audits that we do. I think also with the Office of General Counsel's ethics training, I think people within the departments are just more aware that investigations can be done. So we have been seeing an increase of allegations through our hotline, tips. Sometimes we get direct calls with the allegations. So I would attest to that.
Thank you so
No
much.
problem.
That concludes our presentation, unless there are any questions from any of the commissioners.
Are there any other questions for Ms. Kinney, and her team? Seeing none, that concludes the presentation from Ms. Kinney on the Inspector General's report. Thank you very much. The next item was the Audit Committee Annual Activity Report. That was for information only, which should be in your package. We will now hear for the Executive Director's Report, Quarterly Late Evaluation, which was for information only as well. The CIO's Quarterly Report is for information only, which is in your package as well. And the General Counsel's Litigation and Administrative Hearing Report is for information only. With that, that concludes our meeting for today. Is there a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
It's been properly moved and second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Thank you all so much. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Have a
All
good
right,
day
you.
all.
Bye-bye.